Hey.
What's goody?
We're here with Jmod, Justin Modica. What's
Oh,
up,
yeah.
man?
What's going on?
Thanks for chilling with me today.
Hell yeah, I'm excited to ride around.
We're here at your compound. You can't even see it because the sun's right behind you, but he's got his ramp there, and yeah, trespassers will be shot.
Those are brand new signs.
So we're gonna take a bike ride. I'm super stoked. We're gonna get into his history with skating, knife making, and all that. But first, he doesn't know that I really am a fan.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
I need you to sign that bad boy for me.
Oh yeah, definitely will. Fuck
Let me see
yeah.
it.
That's
Yeah.
one of my old pro models.
When I saw that at I bought that myself.
Oh sick, hell
When
yeah.
when I saw that at Cowtown, I had to buy it. Like, I knew who you were. I'd seen all the Pyramid Country videos and stuff.
Hell yeah. Dude, we're going. Dude, yellow too. Yellow's such a good board color. Cause they always did like the wood grain, like they're all different colors, you know? Sick, hell yeah. Oh yeah. That's a rare one, dude. I don't even think I've seen this shape. I don't even think I got one of these.
Well, it'll be on eBay later.
Ah, fuck yeah.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Sick, hell yeah. Very rad. Out in the desert wash, dude.
All right.
You got some little bunnies? Did you get those?
Yeah, no, I don't think I did.
Damn it.
This has kind of a wide angle, so things that are really small and far out in the
Well,
distance.
the DIY is already right here. Have you been here before?
Not to this one. I've been to Beardsley Banks, and I know it's just down the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can cruise down here real quick so you can check it out. Yeah.
I've seen this spot in many videos.
Yeah,
I thought it got torn down for some reason.
Nah, they always try to fuck it up though. Yeah, I don't know. There's a neighbor right there that always gets pissed. I think it's just the noise. And he'll come down here and grab these big rocks and chuck them at the sides of the quarter pipes.
Oh, wow.
So you'll see it all kind of dinged up, like the corners of stuff will be all wrecked, but you know, people are still skating it.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen this up ledge yet. That thing looks kind of sackable almost. Should have brought my board, dude.
This would be really fun for someone who's good at skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like you.
Nah, I don't know. I've done a couple tricks here. Nothing crazy though. Not like back nose blunt like I just saw recently. Someone did. I don't even know who he was, but.
On that wall?
On this, dude.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
It's fucking gnarly.
You've done like a fast plan or something on it, yeah?
I did a front pivot and then I indied out to fakie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But dude, so check out this lumpy middle section.
Yeah.
That was my first concrete work solo by myself.
No way.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking lumpy as hell. But it works. So this one was already here, and then someone did that too.
Uh-huh.
And I've always skated and it's always been super narrow. And I was like, borrowed my brother's concrete mixer, and there was like shade right here all day, and it was a really cold day. So I had the mixture like a little too wet. So we sat here for hours, like trying to push the concrete up, but it kept like bubbling down because it wasn't drying out. Because we had shade here like all day. So yeah, that was my first lesson with concrete. But
how long ago was that?
Shit, that was probably 4 years ago. But it still skates. Seen some people ride into it, stall up there and fucking come back down. Joe Malazio, shout out.
That is gnarly.
But I wish we could do more, because after I did that section, I was like, all right, I think I got the hang of this concrete stuff. I want to do, you know, another hip or something. And then I came back to do like a longer quarter pipe. So I had a bunch of rocks and dirt down, and I was going to come back the next day because I had a bunch of leftover concrete. And all the rocks were put back, all the boulders.
Oh, wow.
So it was like someone was like, nope, you're not building anything else down here. But I mean, I cleared out some boulders up there, and I was just driving right down to it. I just drove my truck down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, you ever see that, you know who John Modica is, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You ever see that tray flip off of this down to here? And it's like, he just had strictly a wood run up. But yeah, John Modica fucking tray flipped this with wood run up.
Oh, that's
He knows all the spots out here. Like when I first moved to this area, I would send him spots like, "Oh, you ever seen this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did all that patchwork down there." I'm like, "Oh shit." It's like, "Yeah, I never got around to filming a trick at it, but."
So, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really stoked on your knife stuff. So we'll talk about that a little later. We'll try and go in order, but we usually end up out of order.
Oh, it's all good.
I couldn't find any online like interviews with you, like hardly anything, but I did find an old Red Bull one.
Oh yeah.
And I guess you were born in Texas, and
Yep.
then you moved to Michigan, and then back to Texas?
Yep.
Yeah, so tell me just about when did you find skating and all that?
Oh man, I guess when I was back in middle school in Michigan, my older brother, he just like had all the toys, and I kind of just followed whatever he did. Yeah. So we got into like skiing and snowboarding and stuff. So just fell in love with snowboarding out there, and so it was like summertime came around. It was sort of like, well, what do we do, you know?
Yeah.
So we got skateboards and learned how to like ollie on carpet in the basement, and then from there it just stemmed. Like I don't know, it's just ollieing over decks, flat ground, and there was no skate parks in the town we lived in or anything, so it was all
small
like
town in Michigan, is that?
Yeah, small town in Michigan, Traverse City. I still got some really good buddies who still live out there.
Brother, is he older or?
He's older, yeah.
Okay.
So he quit skateboarding like pretty quick, and I just kept at it. I had the itch. I fell in love with it. I was still snowboarding every winter and stuff too. So I don't know. My dad built us a half pipe. I mean, we helped him build it, but I was maybe like 10 or 11 years old. So it was maybe like sink a couple screws, but mostly my dad just like built the whole thing. He never skated or anything, but it was kind of crazy, like how he was so ready for us to just get extreme.
Yeah.
Like from like a young age, he's like, here's a four-wheeler, here's a dirt bike. He just bought us like all the toys, and anything with a motor kind of freaked me out. So I think that's why like I sort of stayed with the skateboarding and snowboarding, stuff I can really control. Like my brother was really big into motocross and hitting big ass jumps and stuff, and like I would try to hit a few jumps, but man, I would always eat shit, you know what I mean?
Did your dad, I know Thrasher used to sell ramp plans. Did your dad have like any help with that?
That's it. That's the exact.
Sick, you got Thrasher ramp plans?
There was a skate shop, there was just no skate park. So went to the skate shop, and he saw it while I was like buying a new pair of trucks, and he's like, "Boy, look at this thing." He had a real thick Texas accent, but he's like, "Boy, look at this. We could build, it got plans for it, everything right here. Like we could build you a half pipe in the backyard." And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. And my brother was stoked too, like, you know, like.
So sick, dude.
But yeah, it was cool, and I think that's what got me into wanting to build with wood and stuff too, you know. Just, yeah, I don't know. My dad always had tons of tools and stuff, and we were always making stuff as kids, you know, mostly jumps and ramps, stuff like that. But sometimes we would like try to make our own skateboards and out of like 2x6s and stuff, and try to bomb hills with them and eat shit, you know?
Yeah.
But
so how old were you when you moved back to Texas, and were you fully invested in skating at that point, or?
Oh yeah, for sure. By that point, there was already a skate park in Michigan, and yeah, I was fully in love. So it was like my parents were like, "Hey, we're gonna move back to Texas. Like, you all right with that?" And me and my brother were super bummed, but my dad was pretty much like, "I promise, they got way better skate parks out there. I'll take you to the skate park every day." Because I was just going into high school, and yeah, it sucked. Like, school sucked, but after school, going to the skate park every day, I met friends like right away. Like first day.
Houston, you're talking about?
Yeah, in Houston. Yeah, first day at the skate park, it was like, oh, who are these kids? Like sick. They're all doing airs and stuff, and I'd never skated like big quarter pipes like that, so they were like airing over each other and stuff, and I was just like mind boggled, and I don't know, I was kind of dropping in with them, like pumping around this bowl, and they accepted me in their friend group, you know, like that's how skateboarders are, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Always have been. All that old footage of you on YouTube that I found is all street stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was actually gonna ask you about when you started skating transition and how.
So
did you love it? Was it scary? Because it always scared me as a kid.
Yeah. So pretty much that skate park I was talking about in Houston, it was like a big indoor skate park, and yeah, they had a big bowl with like maybe like maybe not 8 foot, like 7 foot deep. It wasn't south side.
Okay.
It was called Dex, but it was a huge warehouse, like massive, probably like 30-foot ceilings. You know what I mean? But yeah, they closed the skate park down to renovate, and they built a ginormous vert ramp. Like, I'm talking like 13.5 foot. There was like 17 foot roll in with a channel gap, and then 15 foot extensions on both sides. Like, it was gnarly. And I helped build that too. So that was probably another thing that got me into like building with wood. But and at the time I was probably 16, but since I was like so involved with like building that park with them while it was shut down, like I just got to go in free all the time, you know, because I was either sweeping or putting screws in something, you know what I mean? But yeah, dude, this spot right here.
Yeah, famous spot.
I know, yeah. No one skates this shit anymore.
I mean, look at it. It's
a dump.
Pretty bad shape.
Nah, dude, it's got potential.
Oh yeah, no,
right?
For sure. It just had to be cleaned up.
Yes, well, I remember moving out here, like I thought this was the coolest shit, like ever.
Well, I grew up in Texas skating ditches, so I love shit like this.
Yeah, it's wild.
Beardsley Banks.
Yep, Beardsley Banks. I don't know why, it looks kind of like gnarlier than it did back in the day. It's actually got a little steepness to it.
If we had 2 mountain bikes, but have you ever ridden in there?
Nah, yeah? I haven't. Dude, my bike was like a road bike. Like the tires were like half as skinny as these and stuff. Yeah. So I was always popping tires and stuff. It was like a bike my buddy let me borrow. Do you remember Ryan Sublette? He was on Pyramid Country and stuff, but he lived with me for a little bit. But he would ride his bike it was a bike he got he got from Goodwill, but he would ride from Tempe to Phoenix and come help me work, and then ride back to Tempe on weekends. It was kind of wild. I was like, how are you riding your bike that far, dude? But he loved it. But whenever he moved back to Missouri, he gave me his bike. He's like, yeah, you can just have it. Sick. So it was pretty cool. He's like, I just got it from Goodwill, like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. So
yeah, it was that park in Houston shut down. So there's no more indoor skate park. There was no more vert ramp. So it just went from like vert to what's next, you know? So I just started hitting the streets with my buddies. The only skate park was some prefab park that was like really everything low to the ground. So we just started street skating a bunch out in Houston. I just literally going downtown and learned how to skate rails and all that sort of stuff. And then, yeah, I don't know. Everyone thought I was like a street skater all those years. And then I've always liked just doing backside airs and inverts and stuff. So had to kind of build that in my backyard because there's not much of that out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the vert ramp you helped build in Houston is where you learned to skate vert?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did you get to ride that ramp?
For about a year. I think it was only like, they renovated and they were only open for about a year and then it shut down.
But you were there a lot?
I was there every day, like constantly. Just get off school and pad up and freaking just try to learn every trick possible. And I don't know, I didn't learn too many tricks like in 1 year, but by the end of it, I had like 540s and stuff, which I like wish I could still do, but
so
I'm a little
how old
scared.
Are you at this point? Like 14 or?
I was like 16, yeah. Okay. So like 16 to 18, 19. I moved out here when I was 19. Just skating street like heavy, but like Tempe Park, the Tombstone, that's where I kept all my vert tricks, you know what I mean? Like it was like, I was like, oh, there's a sick quarter pipe that's got vert on it. It's like, let me try some of my old vert tricks. And it was like So I kind of kept some of my vert tricks because of that park. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
how'd you end up in Arizona?
My buddy Tyler Franz and Jake Keenan, they were my Michigan friends actually, and they were like, "Hey, we found a spot to rent in Arizona. We're gonna go out there and just start working, and we want to skate all the Arizona stuff." Because our friend Jonathan Pierce, you've heard that name, right?
Yeah.
He's from Michigan too, so we all knew each other as kids, and then it was kind of crazy because we all ended up moving out to Arizona, and yeah, I don't know, just they actually moved. They were only here for like 6 months to a year, and then they both moved back to Michigan. So
Okay.
I just kind of fell in love with it. I was going to the Art Institute for a little bit, and then Phoenix College, and just trying to like please the folks and try to go to school. And it was just art school because I was never good at like education, like normal education. I was always good at drawing and stuff. So my parents were like, "What the hell is Justin gonna do like the rest of his life? You know, like just draw pictures." So I went to art school for a little bit, and that's where I kind of like found the love for creating, I guess, more than just little monster drawings, you know, like toy machine drawings and stuff like that. I feel like that's where, like, where I got super inspired as a kid, just drawing like little one-eyed monsters or five-eyed monsters, you know. Oh shit, we got a homie.
Yeah.
Let me borrow that thing.
Oh,
sick.
damn. Yeah, that's sick, man. I love it when friends do that. Like, you never hear that as adults where a buddy's just like, "Hey, I'm moving to Arizona. You want to come with us?"
Yeah.
So sick, man.
Yeah, I mean, I had really supportive parents, and I was kind of making some bad decisions out in Houston. So my parents were like, "Yeah, you should probably like get out of here and, you know, find your own way, you know?"
Yeah.
But they were always supportive even while I was out here. And I always went back to Houston, and I still had friends out there, and I would film tons of stuff out there with my friends, you know? So like a lot of those Houston clips would get put in the Pyramid Country videos, and a lot of people asking like, "Oh, where's that spot?" It's like, "Oh, Jmod goes back to Houston all the time, you know?" So.
Oh, she's coming back for more. She saw my camera.
Yeah, she's like, "Where's the other jumps?" Oh shit. she got some road rash too, dude.
Did you skate with anyone well known that I might know in Texas?
Shit. And Ben Rayborn.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
One of the best, man.
I used to have a little VX, and his dad used to pay me to make little videos of him and stuff.
Damn,
so
that's
I have,
so sick. Dude.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess.
This is before he was famous?
Oh yeah, for
Wow.
sure. He had a couple little sponsors, and he always needed more sponsor me tapes and stuff. So I would film his sponsor me tapes.
Damn.
And it was funny because he was such a young little dude. Like, to me, like he was like tiny. He was so small, and I think he still is pretty small. But I felt so much older than him. He would go to the park and skate, and I would just be like there with long lens, like zooming in. I'm like, "Damn, he did another crazy trick. Oh, he did. I kind of missed that one, but whatever." And then I would be like having my friends go out and film me, and I would try to like sneak my clips into his sponsor tapes, and it never worked out. It worked out for him though.
What was the age difference at that time?
Dude, I don't know. It had to have been like maybe a 4-year age difference,
So
but whenever
you were 17 or 18, he was like 14 or something?
Yeah,
okay.
Something like that. Yep.
I know some of his early sponsors were like, I think 1031 maybe? And an iPath. At some point he got on iPath?
Yeah, this was before all of that. It was cool to see him blow up, and like he's got a knife from me. It's cool to just like how many skateboarders like support you know, like skater businesses, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Hell yeah, for sure. Yep. Tuesday's turn.
Hell yeah. She's like, "I'm gonna be on that for sure." I caught some air. Hell yeah.
Sick, man. Ben Rayborn. Yeah, and then he went pro for Birdhouse, obviously, and then he kind of disappeared for a while, and he's shredding again, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
What is that new company, Metal or something like that?
Yeah, I think so.
That's Fred? Is that Freddie Gall's company?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you know all the
sick,
answers
dude.
to it, because yeah, I'm out of the skate loop. And
oh, dude,
even before,
I've got to be more out than you. I
don't know. Like before I moved to Arizona, dude, like going to the skate park and everyone would be like, you see his part, his part, his part. I never kept track of any of that. Like it was like skate with my friends, and my friends were my favorite skateboarders. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So how'd you hook up with Jackson and Preston and the Pyramid Country?
Well, Jackson's from Michigan.
So you knew him, you've known him?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I didn't know him whenever I lived in Michigan, but it was like one of those things. He's like, thinking about moving out to Arizona. You guys want to come visit me out in Michigan and like hang out with me here for a little while. So one summer, like me, Jonathan Pierce, and some other dudes went out to visit Jackson. We just like went all around Michigan filming in his, like with his car. And yeah, I don't know, it was just super generous of him and his folks too to have us, because it was like a 2-month long just sleeping on Jackson's couches, you know what I mean?
She loves it.
She was all about it. So that was whenever Jackson first moved in, it was me and him, we got an apartment together.
Damn, that's sick.
Yeah.
I just always loved y'all's parts, and you were in like the very first video, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was in like, all the earlier ones for sure.
Yeah, I know.
And then it was kind of like, dude, I was going on these trips and everyone was just hitting gnarly rails and gaps, and I just wanted to be skating quarter pipes and bowls and stuff like that. And I felt like I was just kind of wasting my time. I'd go on like a month-long trip, and like every spot, like I'm like, I don't know how to skate this, and I would just like sit on a curb and throw rocks for a little while, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like,
you were really good at street though. So.
Dude, I was just like a stunt man. Like I would just like see something and be like, if I think I can maybe like jump on this rail. And then most of the time I would just die. Like I would just eat shit.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'd make it. And it was kind of like, just like luck of the draw. I had no skills of like jumping on rails, like, cause I only skated stuff like that for a little bit. Some of those dudes like Trey Wood, I met him whenever he was like a little tiny kid. And he was just shredding like some indoor park out in Mesa. And it was like one of those things, I was like looking for a vert ramp. I was like, oh, I'll make an hour drive out and go skate this vert ramp. And there was this little kid like blasting airs in my face, doing 540s. Yeah. And I was just like, and he was super humble and super sweet, like as a little kid. And I was like, dude, that kid's sick. He's going places, you know what I mean? Yeah. Sure enough, like a few years later, he like grows like 2 feet and he's fucking flying over the mega ramp, like winning fucking X Games golds and shit.
Okay, so back to Pyramid Country. Tell me about some of your early sponsors.
So Cowtown was definitely one of them. I got on Cowtown probably like the first year after living in Arizona, and they just reached out. Like one of the owners, Ed, called me up and just out of the blue. I don't even know how he got my number or anything. I wasn't asking to get on the team or nothing, but he was like, hey, how about you like ride for us and give you a discount and like some boards and stuff. I was like, all right, that'd be sick. And then from getting on with them, they're like, let's get you a shoe sponsor. I was like, all right. So then they gave me, I was like shop flow for Converse, and I still am somehow. So it's been like, I think probably like 17 years I've been getting shop flow.
Wow.
for cons.
That's
and
sick.
It's just like one of those things, like the reps change and stuff, but they're always just like, yeah, this dude Jmod that's on Cowtown, like he gets shoes. So I'm just like on the books or something. I don't know.
Right there, those Lopez.
Yeah.
Those are so sick.
You see all the rust on there? That's from
Louis is one of my all-time favorites.
Oh yeah, for sure. His shoes are great too. But yeah, I recently sent the dude a knife because like the rep, because I was like, he sends out how many shoes all the time. I wonder how many times a skater sends him a gift.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's rad.
And so I sent him a knife, and I think he was pretty stoked on it. So, but I haven't talked to him in a while. Like I don't skate as much as I used to, so I asked for shoes like maybe twice a year. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna try to just get shoes every month because I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
yeah, so that's always been cool. And then Pyramid Country, of course, like once they started that brand, it was
They would give you clothes?
yeah, they just gave me clothes all the time. And then Send Help. Well, it started as the High Five. It gets confusing. The High Five, Todd Bratrud, he started that company, and that was from just like going on a California trip and kind of meeting him, and ended up, I guess Preston Harper knew who he was. And so we stayed with Preston, and just kind of, we all just kind of clicked. And he's like, hey, I'm making a brand. I see y'all like film and going out and getting clips all the time, like, and y'all are super cool. Whenever you stayed with me, you want to ride for it, like you guys will pretty much be the skaters on the fucking team.
Yeah.
And Todd was like a legendary artist, like out in California. He's originally from North Dakota, but like, yeah, his art was recognized from all over the place, like Consolidated to like, I mean, he started designing Nikes, all that sort of stuff. And then
he's done stuff for Santa Cruz. And
he's done something for every skate brand,
yeah.
At least all the OG ones. Like he's done graphics for his like studio out in North Dakota is insane. He's got a board wall bigger than like any local skate shop, and it's all graphics he's done. And then like you think those would be all of them, and he's got underneath that he's got like a big table with like shelf and boards stacked underneath that are all boards that, and he'll like pull them out, like he'll like have a story about one and like pull one out, and he's like, oh, I don't remember where that one is, but oh, here it is, you know, and like tell me a crazy story about some board graphic from like fucking 30 years ago that he did. So
yeah,
so it went from,
that guy's a legend, man.
yeah, I know. So it went from
High
the
Five.
High Five to Send Help, because they were going to trademark the name, the High Five, even though we've already been doing shit for like a couple years, and it was already taken.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh shit, we gotta like change the name. So they changed it to Send Help, and it was Send Help for forever.
That is a great name though.
Yeah, it was cool. Like we loved it. We had tons of fun. We went on a handful of trips and stuff, and yeah, it was great, dude. That's good times. It seems like another lifetime ago, honestly. But yeah, I just kind
So
of.
they turned you pro around 2017?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Did you know that was coming, or?
No, I didn't. I mean, wait, did I? I don't think I did. No, we did a trip out to Colorado, and it was pretty much like Todd being like, dude, we always go on these street trips where everyone's skating street. Like, let's go hit the Colorado parks with like the big transitions. And I was just like, that's awfully generous, you know? So we went out to Colorado, and yeah, I was like, it was funny because they were gonna, I think I had to like change my pants for some reason. Like I ripped my pants real bad. I was like, oh, I gotta go to the van to change my pants. And they snuck like where my bag was, they snuck my board graphic on top, like my board. And I totally like opened up the back of the van and just like didn't even see it. Like I was like, it wasn't even there. And like everyone was staring at me, and like a few dudes had phones out, and I was like, what the fuck are y'all looking at? And they're like, you didn't see anything in the back of the van? I was like, I don't know, it's like crowded back there. I don't know. And they were like, look again. And I looked again. So I feel like I kind of ruined it by just being so oblivious, but it was super cool. Like, yeah, and then so like the whole rest of the trip was like, all right, so this is your going pro part right now. So
wow.
All the stuff we've been filming,
You gotta step
like,
it up.
yeah, you gotta, like, we're gonna have a Thrasher part come out for you and all this stuff. And I was like, oh shit, like, yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, the pro career didn't last for too long. Fucking snapped the old leg in half pretty much. But so that slowed me down a lot, and then yeah, I don't know. But that, I mean, he still gave me like a few more pro boards and stuff, which was cool. He's like, it's not about like what you're doing like right now. It's about all the stuff you did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's always been that way, like super laid back, like talk about like I don't know if you'd call him a team manager, like brand owner, the most relaxed dude about stuff like you could ever encounter.
Yeah.
He's like, you just do whatever you want. If you don't want to film a part out here in Colorado, you don't have to. I'd be like, No, I want to. You know what I mean? Like he was always just super laid back. There's no stress on anything, and I think it's just because it was just a bunch of friends like doing whatever. You know what I mean? He moved from California because he was tired of the whole industry and all that sort of stuff, and went out to North Dakota to be back with his family and whatnot. Because his brother started having kids, and he wanted to be around his nephews and go to their hockey games and whatnot. So, which I think is super respectable, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, man, what a legend.
Shit's pretty sick though. But yeah, so my buddy who gave me his bike, Ryan Sublette, he claims he saw a mountain lion on this fucking mountain right here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. And he's like, I swear to God, dude, it was a mountain lion. I'm not fucking lying to you. So my niece is 15 now. So when I first got this spot 7 years ago, she was like just getting into bikes and stuff. So it was really cool to have a bike with her, because we didn't explore over here, but we explored a lot of tunnels and like through the ditches. And there's even like BMX tracks that people built like in areas kind of like this.
Yeah.
Like with jumps and stuff and berms. And my niece was like 7 years old. She's like, let's get it. Like she was all about it for sure. But so see that little tower thingy up there?
Yeah.
There's a spot that people have been skating that's super wild. They call it the ski jump. But it like bombs the mountain a little bit and then dips down. It's a ditch. And then it dips down and launches out. And then there's just like dirt and then a tiny little like crevice, little teeny tiny ditch that you land in. Like Clay Anderson had a clip doing melon, and then Joe Malazio did kickflip indie in like a local video. Try not to eat shit. Dude, this is sick. I feel young still, but I don't know, stuff kind of hurts different. And I'm out of shape, and I got a house and a kid and a business, and so I never have time to skate, but that shit's starting to hurt nowadays.
Yeah.
You want to hike this thing or what?
Yeah. You guys had this photo and video shoot on your ramp where you had an anvil on the top?
Yeah.
How the hell did you get that up there?
My brother was like building these dolly things that had winches on them. So he had a shit ton of winches laying around. I just asked if I could borrow a winch and fucking strapped it to it and just pulled that shit up the ramp. So yeah, just tied it to it. But yeah, it was
just you by yourself?
No, it was like me and one buddy. Yeah. Well, we got to stop at this epic skate spot real quick. So
Yeah.
I get ideas and still want to like be in the skate scene, you know what I mean? So I'm like, how can I like incorporate knives and skating? They don't really like collide too well, but I don't know, it worked out. I still try to do shit like that all the time. Like I try to name my knives after skate tricks and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, just trying to fucking, I would watch out for snakes too though. Cause I definitely seen some rattlesnakes up here before. Damn, look at that shit. We just climbed up that. We're fucking climbing mountains and shit.
Yeah.
But this is like what I thought was really cool about this area. Like when I first moved out here, I didn't know anyone in like the North Valley. So I would just cruise around and do all the shit like by myself, and found this little road to just drive up, and I'll like watch fireworks because you can kind of see the whole like city right there. And I'll just like come up here on like 4th of July and just watch fireworks, and you can just fireworks show like crazy. Even like they shoot them off over there too. This is it, dude. Isn't that fucking crazy? One time
oh my God, to there?
Yeah.
Holy
someone
shit.
kickflip indied that.
Let me get a
Joe Malazio.
So there's super gnarly runway that you'd have to obviously clean out very good. And then fucking someone put some concrete on there.
This is the spot I hit up Modica, and I sent him a picture, and he's like, yeah, I'm the one who bondoed that whole thing. So yeah, Modica put all that concrete to make it skatable right there.
I mean, that is really far though.
Yeah, someone did a melon, someone fucking
11, 12 feet.
Yeah.
And it's just gnarly. I mean, you're coming down a mountain, you have to stay in that little channel.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just get pitched out of there.
If you hit one little pebble, you're gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, everybody kind of like just
well,
goes, and it's kind of cool because you can like ditch your board and kind of like run out like right here, and then everyone will start like ditching it right here, right here, right here, and it's like eventually you just got to go for it. You know what I mean?
You would need some soft wheels too. On to knife making. Is there a term for like knife smith or?
Like I guess I'm technically a bladesmith.
Bladesmith, yeah.
Or just like or just like a knife maker, but yeah, I never had like a blacksmith background or anything. I never like shoot horses or anything like that. But yeah, I just got into it because I had an uncle who was making knives, and my dad would always show them to me, like just pictures and stuff. He's like, "Look at what GA's making, man," and I was always just like, damn, dude, I didn't know like I always been like outdoorsy, so I always like carried knives and stuff, but I didn't really know people were making custom ones, you know?
Yeah.
And so like he would have like resin in the handles that he would polish up real good and make it look all shiny, and I don't know, I was just like, whoa, those are like sickest knives I've ever seen, you know what I mean? I didn't know people were making custom knives really.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
making knives?
He actually passed away.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, it's all good. So I'm kind of like, you know, living on the legacy or something. I don't fucking know, but
yeah,
he was stoked because like he was alive whenever I started making knives, because he sent me a knife after my dad passed away, which sucked too. But he sent me a knife, and it was kind of like, I want to fucking start making some knives, you know? So I started picking his brain, and he was like, oh yeah, you just need to get some of this, some of that. You know, you could buy some blades at first and just do the handles. And I just started making them for fun, you know, it's just a hobby. And I fell in love with it, dude. I was like, just on to the next one, on to the next one. I just wanted to like, I was like, I always use fillet knives. I always like have an everyday carry on me. So it was like, I made those two. And then it was like, I want to make like something to cook with, because I'm always cooking. And all my knives were like super shitty. I was like, might as well make a badass one. So I just made myself a bunch of knives, and then posting them on the internet, obviously, like, hey, look what I made. And people just started hitting me up, like, how do I get one? And I'm like, yeah, well, I guess you just give me some money, yeah, and I'll make you one. And so they just started like spiraling into like, yeah, I just did like maybe 2 for myself, posted them, and then everyone was like, I want one. Yeah. And I was like, shit, I guess fucking I can make some money doing this too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I didn't know how to charge. So a lot of my first knives were like super, like took me fucking like 2 months to build, and looked super insane. I don't even make knives like that crazy anymore, because I try to like make a bunch, and I would sell them for like $200. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was just like a learning curve of like, how do you price this stuff, and what kind of knives do I even like to make the most, and kind of turned into like culinary stuff, because I cook all the time. I never worked in restaurants or anything, but just being a home cook, it's super fun to like use a custom knife. It makes you want to cook more too, you know? You get excited to use the knife, you know? So you like end up going to buying a bunch of like vegetables and meat, shit that's healthy for you. Yeah, I don't know. I just fell in love with it, and there's a whole community of knife makers and stuff too. So it was really cool to like dive into that, because I was like, I thought my cousin was the only one that made custom knives almost. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I figured other people did it, but I didn't think they did it as like beautiful as the stuff he was making. And turns out, dude, there's a whole world of motherfuckers making way more insane knives than the shit I make even. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's really cool to be a part of that community as well. And it's funny because they're all hyped that I skateboard, you know? They're like, you're like the only knife maker that fucking knows how to drop in. You know what I mean? So they're like, I think I'm getting like kind of a name in that world, because I'm doing shit like putting my anvil on top of the vert ramp and doing a boneless on it. You know what I mean?
Like, what bands did you listen to in junior high or high school?
Oh, I don't even know. Like, I kind of listened to shitty music back then.
It's all good.
But like, I don't know, like the Mars Volta. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah, for sure.
They were pretty wild and like, I don't know. I was kind
I think they were
of
from Texas, weren't they?
maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
But
Weren't they affiliated with like At the Drive-In or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah, so I listened to them a lot and like Led Zeppelin. I liked really long albums and like long songs. I don't know why. I like to just like zone into it. And it was funny because like in high school, I had long hair and I would like hide the headphones like around and behind my hair.
Yeah.
And I would just jam out to fucking like Led Zeppelin albums, like the longest ones, all day at school and not listen to a single teacher.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. From there, fuck, I don't know. I had some friends that were good musicians and like fell in love with their stuff. Like that dude Ryan Sublette who gave me the bike, Adiadat Warfield. He made most of the music for the Pyramid Country videos, and I fell in love with his stuff. And then I honestly got into country music like pretty crazy. Like I don't know. I'm just listening to a lot of country now. Just like the older shit, you know, like Waylon Jennings and yeah, Hank 3 who got me into country. I heard Hank 3 and I was just like, oh shit, this shit's fucking sick, you know, like going out camping and you put on some Hank 3 and and then I was like, oh shit, there's like this whole other like genre, like outlaw music like you're talking about, and yeah, I fucking love that shit. Oh shit.
A vintage like a power hammer?
Yeah.
How did you get that? Tell me about all your tools and kind of evolution. Like, when did you know I need to start investing serious money in this and build a shop and everything?
Yeah, man, it started just with like a burn barrel, like a metal trash can pretty much. And I'd cut some holes in it and like put my shop vac up to it and blow it, like force air into it all crazy and burn pallets and just heat up steel and just kind of wait for it to get red hot. And I used to just like hit it on the concrete and shit and just trying to like morph the steel, like maybe a round piece of steel, and just hit it to flat, you know what I mean? And then so I kind of made a couple knives before my uncle, and it was just me playing around with fire and kind of just like, I don't know, just burning shit in the burn barrel and like heating up steel and kind of hammering it. I guess I'll cruise down on this guy. Yeah. Oh, those brakes are nice. Dude, I used to have mountain bikes and stuff in Michigan. Our front yard had this driveway. Dude, it's probably about that tall and like almost maybe even that steep. So my parents moved out to Michigan and found this house that was like super cheap. And there was like this cul-de-sac and then a huge hill, and then the house was up on top of the hill. And my parents were like, oh, this house is like great. It's a great price, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, let's do it, you know? So we move out to Michigan. This is our, you know, new house. First winter comes and they were like getting in accidents, like trying to get up the hill in the snow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So our childhood, like when we were in middle school, we had a hill pretty much like that, but it was like all grass. And we could build like 2 snowboard jumps on the way down, mountain bike jumps, because there was like a I don't know, like this other wash, and then it went on into like another neighborhood, so we could like jump over like a bike path and stuff. Like we would jump across the bike path on our mountain bikes and shit. Like, yeah, it was pretty wild. But so I've had my fair share of like eating shit on a mountain bike, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
You wanna go?
No, ride that for a little while.
All right.
I mean, unless you don't want to.
No, I'm down. Super down. Yeah, so like after my uncle, I saw his knives. It was like, oh shit, okay, well, I want to make some like crazy resin handles with like cactus woods, because if you ever out in the desert out here, you'll see cholla cactus or saguaro that dies, and like what's left behind is this really cool skeleton
I see it all the time, mountain biking.
Yeah, yeah. So I just picked that shit up, and then you have to figure out like a way to, or I had to figure out a way to harden it because it's real brittle, you know?
Yeah.
So there's this whole steps that you can like stabilize wood and almost turn it into like a hard plastic resin.
Uh-huh.
And that's done using a vacuum chamber and this certain special resin. And so I got a vacuum chamber, and then once you harden that wood, you got to pour, like, because it's real porous and stuff, there's holes all in the wood and stuff, you have to fill the voids with resin. So I made my own little like mold that I could pour, like put the wood in and pour some resin into. And then, so in order to not get bubbles, because the first one I did, there's just a bunch of bubbles all in the resin.
Yeah.
I needed a pressure pot. So you hook up an air compressor to the pressure pot, put your mold in there with the resin, and blast it with pressure, and it pushes out all the bubbles.
Yeah.
And so I made my first set of like handle scales, I guess you could call them. And yeah, that's kind of what I fell in love with at first. And then I wanted to make sheaths, so I got a bunch of leather tools and shit for like carving the leather and putting my own designs in them.
Yep.
Because I went to art school, I know how to draw and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was obviously like, I'm not gonna make a blank sheath. Like my first knife, I made a fillet knife, so the sheath, I was like, I'm gonna do a trout on it, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that was like a whole process of learning how to tool right, but that was cool because like the leather store, you could just go in there. It's a Tandy Leather out here. I would just go in there with my work sometimes and be like, you think this looks good? And they'd be like, you should push a little harder, like whenever you're carving.
Uh-huh.
You want to go about like half the thickness of the leather.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. And then, and they were like, yeah, you should get these stamps, those stamps, you know. And then so my tooling kind of like evolved from there. But the leather tools is like pretty minimal. I like ordered a kit on Amazon, and it was like $50, and it came with everything you need to like make shit out of leather. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not like too much stuff you really need to make knives. Like I bought a drill press. You need to like drill some holes, and then the whole like blade smithing part of it, where you make your own like blades.
Yeah.
That's where like I started with just like a railroad tie and burning shit in the burn barrel and trying to heat up steel, and then take a hammer and hit it on the railroad tie, trying to act like the railroad tie was an anvil, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I would get another paycheck, and then I'd be like, fuck this railroad tie, I'm gonna buy an anvil, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And then it just stems like, I have like 3 anvils now. I don't need 3, but I just like them, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like this whole, I don't know. And like hammers and stuff too. I started with like a framing hammer for like building houses, and now, and then I realized like, you know, there's all these different types of hammers that you need, and I have like way too many hammers now. So I'm almost like collecting stuff from like other makers that like make hammers and axes and stuff like that.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so it's like, it's cool to like support other people who are making stuff that help you with your business, you know what I mean? So I always try to like buy local, or like use local materials, or just, I don't know, 'cause some knives I, like more of my production knives, I get like laser cut out. So instead of like having some company from who knows where to do it, I use like a reliable source here in the valley, and just try to like, I don't know, support local shit.
Is there anyone else that helped you out a lot along the way?
Not really. Well, you know what? This podcast called Knife Talk.
Uh-huh.
It's Jeff Fader, Mareko Mamasi, and Craig Lockwood. They're all these like culinary knife makers. And fuck, dude, they'll take questions every week and just answer people's questions, and they're like legendary knife makers. And I would just I still listen every Monday, and I've learned so much from those guys. And it's like, I don't even know how to like show my appreciation to them, because that's how many, like there's so many knife makers who use that as a resource to like learn learn about knife making.
Yeah.
So I've asked a handful of questions on there, and they answer them, and dude, it's pretty cool. So I really got into like the listening to podcast thing.
That's sick, man.
Yeah, and then trying to like start my own, but that's just pretty much for fun. And my one buddy's super good at talking, so it's like
Shout it out.
it's pretty easy. It's called What's Cooking in the Shop, and we pretty much just talk about the tools that we make for you in the kitchen. You know, like they do high carbon steel skillets and stuff, and spatulas and coffee scoops and all sorts of shit. And I do the knives, and then we'll have people on that like make cutting boards or something like that, or you know. But we just talk about like what we've been cooking and like what projects we're working on in the shop. So
yeah,
sometimes we even cook on the podcast, or like like 2 weeks ago we made kimchi, so we're like cutting shit up and like fucking mixing it and stuffing jars and
that cabbage.
yeah,
It's like Korean
like,
cabbage. Or something?
yeah, it's like sauerkraut kind of, but
Yeah,
like
it has to ferment, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep. So I don't know, we just like kind of do shit like that every week, but it's fun. We don't have like very many listeners or anything, but it's cool to like link up and have someone who has similar interests as you, you know, and kind of shoot the shit. And we're kind of like growing our businesses together, because that's all they do is sell skillets.
Yeah.
And I mean, my whole thing is like, I'm full-time knife maker now, so.
Where are they at?
They're in Goodyear. Yeah, they got a
You guys
shop.
get together in person.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yep.
Where do people find the podcast?
Pretty much any streaming platform.
Okay. Is
Yeah.
there a video of it? Is it
What's
on YouTube?
Cooking in the Shop? No, we got an Instagram though.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole like knife making culinary adventure is like my whole new shit, you know.
Yeah. Plug your website.
It's ModicaKnives.com.
Yeah.
But yeah,
ModicaKnives.com, and you have a YouTube. There's not a lot on there, but
oh shit, yeah,
there's
no.
a really good video that I wanted to plug for you. It talks about pricing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool, because I'm sure you can direct a lot of people to that to answer like basic questions and whatnot.
Oh, you mean like my video about pricing?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess. I don't know why I made that video. I think someone like was talking shit and like saying I was charging too much, and I kind of I needed to like explain, so I explained it in a video, and then I was like,
no, it's good.
I'll never have that issue again.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But I don't know. Might as well have the video up.
Yeah.
Like
no,
in case someone's like,
good.
why should I spend, you know, $500 on this knife? And it's like, all right, know where it's coming from and know how much time is involved. And like, I always tell people too, like it's a lifetime warranty, and I'll even sharpen it for you if you ever want to get a spa day for it and like make it look brand new again. Like I'll definitely do that for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anything else you want to plug?
I mean, I guess my Instagram, that's like the main one I use, and it's JmodKnives.
Yep.
I mean, that's where I post stuff nonstop and doom scroll. I do my doom scrolling on there.
Yep. Tell them how this newsletter is going to work. You're going to start having drops every week.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do the first one actually. So lately I've been getting my knives and done by the end of the week and just bringing them to the farmer's market, and what sells. And
Where's
really,
that at?
It's on Bethany Home in Central.
Okay.
And it's every Saturday.
Oh, at that church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Just come check me out sometime. But yeah, I usually just would like bring stuff there and just hope it sells. But I was like, I got to get more on the online side of things, and so I redid the website. And so if you sign up on it, you'll have first access to like all the new knives that drop. So, and I'm gonna start doing like a lot more exotic, crazy looking ones, because for like the farmer's market, I was keeping them pretty simple, and it was starting to get mundane, like making the same looking knives every week. I would be like, oh, the 8-inch chef's knife with walnut handle sold. I'll make another one of those.
Yeah.
You know? So now I'm gonna just be doing like all types of different handle material, all types of like different like layered up steel with patterns in it. And I'm gonna try to have like decent pricing on it, because a lot of knife makers will hit me up and be like, why are you charging so little for this stuff?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I just gotta like grow my thing, you know? I have to,
Yeah.
and I'm like supporting my family doing it too. So it's like, I gotta turn around stuff. I can't make a $1,500 knife and sit on it for 5 months.
Yeah.
I need to like put a better price on it and watch it go. It never really sits for too long.
Yeah.
If I do one of those like $2,000 knives, that one will sit for a while. But if I keep my stuff around $200 to $400,
yeah,
it always ends up going pretty quick. So, and I'm like very thankful for the farmers market, because that's pretty much where I sell like majority of the knives. So Uptown Farmers Market, if you want to look it up.
Yeah. Come over here. Your kid's 2 years old.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, shout out to, I was just thinking like, shout out to my wife, you know, for always holding it down. Like even right now, she's just hanging out with the kiddo, and she lets me like do, you know, my passion.
Yeah.
24/7. And it's she has a really cool shop too, so I'd like to plug her stuff as well. She makes these like halter top, like leather halter tops. So she kind of got into leather after, you know, seeing me make stuff out of leather all the time. That's actually how we met, is she saw my leather stuff online and she reached out and wanted to say like she thought it was really cool, and then I don't know, we started talking that way.
Sick,
so she
dude.
got into making herself. So she's Shop Silver Dagger on Instagram. But yeah, go check her out. If it's mostly dudes watching, yeah, you could like buy something for your lady. They're pretty much like leather bras with like little conchos and fringe and stuff like that on them. She's got an Etsy and stuff on there, but yeah, shout out to her for like always putting up with me just constantly in the shop and all that, and holding it down, being the best like stay-at-home mom there is.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about your shop because I'd like to shoot video of it sometime, but real briefly, how long did that take? I've seen video of it and you have like foam everywhere, and
yeah, no, it started just like I had a concrete slab on my property, and I always thought of like building a building on it, you know, and I finally saved up enough to like put a structure there, and it was a bolt together like building you erect yourself. I had to rent a boom lift at Home Depot and like erect it with like 6 buddies, and so yeah, I put that part up, and it was just like this A-frame like barn style with open front for like maybe a couple years. And then I finally saved up enough money to get a shipping container, and I butted that up against it, put some roll-up doors on it, and then I framed the whole thing in. So the shipping container is where I keep all the dust. It's like my grinding room, so where I grind all the knives and grind all the handle material. And then the other space is like pretty much like my blacksmithing area, where I messing with hot steel and shaping it out on like anvils and power hammers and stuff like that. So
forge,
yeah. I got a forge. I do have a kiln as well, like an oven.
And did you build those, or?
Yeah, yep. A couple of them is like you kind of like have to build them. You get like kits that you buy and to build yourself. You know what I mean? None of them really come like pre-assembled, ready to go. Yeah. You know, so yeah. And
it looks super legit and gnarly in the videos.
Yeah. It's kind of it's kind of wild. I put the forge outside, and you reach through a tunnel to get the hot steel, and that's to keep the heat out of the shop.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to forge stuff in like on like the 115-degree days, and almost like killing myself. But it's like being a skateboarder, you're just like so relentless and like trying to like I don't know, you're used to like slamming or like breathing really hard or like trying to get a trick when it's really hot out, to where I just was like doing that with knife making, just sitting there like hammering in the heat, just drenched, soaked, and then I was like, this isn't healthy, you know. It got to that point where I'm like, I need to figure out something. And I don't know if I'm the first one to do the tunnel reach through the like shop to go grab their steel from outside, but
so you designed all that, huh?
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody else do it. And most people like rent their shops or their wood, you know, so they're probably not wanting to just cut holes in the side of their shop, you know what I mean? Or their shop's flammable.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily I just have a steel building, so.
Sick, man. So sick.
Yeah, you have to check it out sometime for sure.
I forgot, we got off topic, but I did want to hear about that power hammer. How'd you get that?
Some guy was making like metal sculpture for the city of Phoenix for like years, and he retired and had it and had no use for it anymore, and he was just like kind of selling all of his equipment off. And there was a few things where he's like, no, it's not for sale, but he was selling a lot of his stuff. And but the power hammer he just listed on Facebook, and I just jumped on it. I was there like instantly, and I didn't even have the money really. Yeah, so I had to get it. You know what I mean?
It was working though?
Pretty much. I had to replace a few parts on it, but yeah, it's a 100-year-old machine.
Yeah.
I looked up the serial number. It was made from 1920 to 1925, anywhere in between there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty wild.
Dude,
but yeah, I greased it up real good, replaced a few things that I saw that were broken, and yeah, shimmed it just right, and it fucking runs. I mean, it's fucking hammering. So.
And it just changed your whole the way you do everything.
A little bit, yeah. It's definitely making things a little quicker in the shop for sure. But yeah, just getting away from like hand hammering everything, you know, each swing, you know what I mean? So it definitely helps a lot. But that, and I have a hydraulic press too, which I got, but that was probably made, you know, 20 years ago or something. Yeah. But that thing's super cool. It does a lot of work too. But yeah.
If anyone watching this wants to see more of what we're talking about, just go to his Instagram and just scroll through some of the videos.
Yeah, I try to keep up with that. I try to show people the process and stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple good ones of that hammer, because I know you haven't had it that long.
Yeah, I'm all excited about it. I'm posting it more than anything else. I feel like right now.
It's so fucking gnarly.
Yeah. Like the grinder, that was a huge upgrade. Like the 2x72 grinder, instead of like a little bench grinder you would buy at fucking Harbor Freight or Home Depot. Mm-hmm. It's like a full-on machine you kind of build yourself to.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, it takes some like really big belts that go on
like
it.
It sprays water when you're.
Yeah, and that was actually a really cheap investment that saves a lot of like time, just having a mister to cool down the steel. Because you can't overheat it at a certain point. You don't want to be overheating the steel, because it'll take out the hardness. Yeah. So yeah, having like a misting cooling system, instead of like before I would do a grind, dunk it in a bucket of water. I'd do a grind, dunk it in the bucket of water. So now I can kind of just sit there on the grinder, and it'll just like keep it cool, you know.
So sick. All right, last thing is just any shout outs. You got your website, your ladies store.
Yeah, go check out the podcast, and Copper State Forge is the guys making the skillets. They're super cool, family owned. His kids are older. They're like working in his shop and stuff now.
He's in some of your videos, right?
Yeah. Yep. So super cool, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Just that's what I've been up to lately. In the farmers market. Yeah, that's about it, dude. Yeah, I still get cons somehow in Cowtown, and that's about it.
All right, well, shout out.
Shout out to them for sure.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man. This was so sick.
Yeah, I do too. This was actually very fun. Like, I need to get a bike and start doing shit like this more.
Everyone I ride with, all the skaters say that. Especially all my skater homies, get a bike if you don't have one. It makes finding spots so fun.
Yeah.
Just ride around and find spots. It's such good exercise. It's so good for your knees and your ankles.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be sore, dude, honestly.
Yeah. Appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah,
Nah,
thanks.
you'll be good.